Hello everyone, I'm Krasi, and I will be talking today about the elections. Who will win the presidential elections in America, Biden or Trump? Such video I have already recorded somewhere in the summer, I think it was July, and then in the very last moment I had some doubts and I simply deleted it because of some small details in the horoscope of Biden, which made me doubtful. But then I had time enough to research these two horoscopes. Now, the horoscope of Trump has accurate time of birth. This we know. This has been proven after he won the elections in 2016. We could follow up the events which took place in America, and seems that his time of birth is accurate. Also, based on this time of birth in 2016, I did predict that Donald Trump will win the elections, and you know how many disputes were ongoing at that time. But yes, he won the elections based on the astrological timing that we have. Well, when it comes to Biden, we do not know how accurate his birth time is, and you know how important this is in astrology. So we do not know how accurate his birth timing is. We'll see. I hope it is correct. Otherwise, it is very easy to make mistake based on only a couple of minutes difference. So I will share my screen with you so that you can follow my reasoning. First, I will show you the two horoscopes of Biden and Trump. The horoscopes that you will see are based on the fixed Babylonian sidereal system, which resembles a bit the Vedic astrology system. It is simply astronomical. When you look at the sky, whatever you see on the sky, it is depicted in the horoscopes that you will see. This is the sidereal Babylonian system. Then we will be looking at the chart of America and how these two horoscopes relate in a way to the horoscope of America. And of course, we'll take a look at the day, the day of the elections, what this day will give us. So let me share my screen with you. This here, number two, this is number two. This is the horoscope of Donald Trump. And this is the horoscope of Joe Biden. The details, the birth details you can find on astro.com easily. So this is Donald Trump. He won the elections because he had in 2016 because he has very powerful horoscope, mainly based on this cross which you see here, where you have the four royal stars. The four royal stars are royal stars, and also he has the star Aldebaran conjoined his midheaven, and the star Aldebaran is the first and most important star of astrology because it is the star of wealth and luck and power, extreme wealth, luck and power. Well, you can see that Joe Biden is sharing the same cross of the royal stars, but here he has this Saturn where conjoined Aldebaran, the most powerful of the royal stars out of the four, where is the midheaven of Donald Trump. Also, on the ascendant, and this is the thing which is a bit also causing and used to cause problem in the life of Donald Trump, is this Mars conjoined the heart of the lion, which Trump has on the ascendant. But let's say something very important. Mars is not a planet which is bringing restrictions. Restrictive is Saturn on angular position in the horoscopes of Joe Biden. Another very important thing is that both of them have Rahu, lunar node, on their midheaven, which is showing how determined they are to win. And every time these Rahu and Ketu have returns, they would have important changes in their lives, which would really result in important events. But let's come back to the horoscope of Trump. He has here something very, very unique, which is Uranus, the planet of change, the planet which is very which is always very drastic, very original. That is why his behavior is original. And you have Uranus conjoined Rahu. Rahu is also original, makes people so driven towards towards certain aim shown by his place. And then you have the Sun, and the Sun of Donald Trump is in a sacred place, and the sacred places in astrology are only 7, and they point towards very, very special, very specific past with certain important mission, but this is something that I will not address right now. Then he has Mercury in his powerful own place, in visible position, which is rare, in his 11th house, the house of gains, and aspecting the ascendant, extremely powerful. There are so many interesting aspects, but he is also born on eclipse. I think it was total eclipse, because, and the moon is applying towards us to make aspect opposition with the sun, and the day was eclipse when Donald Trump was born. And you know that this year, all these 6 very heavy eclipses that we have, 4 of them happened already, 2 of them to go. One will take place in November, one in December. They all actually afflicted the axis of ascendant, of midheaven, lower meridian, this axis of the royal power of Donald Trump. And also you have this axis here where his gains are also afflicted. But if we look only at the eclipses of this year, when it comes to winning or losing, or how they influence the positions of the president or the potential president, we would be wrong. We need to go even beyond and look at the years before. Whatever we do, however, this eclipse gave him the power that he has. This is the eclipse. The eclipses are considered dramatic events, or drastic, or events which are like portals. The sky is opening in order something important to take place. Usually not positive. This is because the eclipses, this is how the eclipses were addressed in the ancient Mesopotamia, in ancient Babylon. So Donald Trump was born in eclipse. We cannot expect that all these eclipses happening will break him, because he's immune. He's born on eclipse. Later on, I will show you, or maybe I will just briefly explain you their progressed horoscopes and what they bring. Let's take a look at the horoscope of Biden. Indeed, he does have this very powerful axis here of Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius. These are, of course, the astrological signs where we do have the 4 royal stars positioned, but not even one royal star is exactly conjoined any of these places. Another thing is, actually what gave him luck and power, but not the power that Trump had, is this Jupiter indeed, who is exalted and aspecting the ascendant. This, beyond any doubt, is very, very powerful, and it is well, it gives royal power, it gives luck, especially in a daily horoscope like his. Obviously, this is the case. Another thing is the moon in the 6th house. Which moon in the 6th house actually is not very, very helpful when it comes to achieving super success, especially when the moon receives opposition from Mars, who is invisible, who rules the ascendant. And there are so many things which are some of them are very powerful, like these axes of the royal stars, and Jupiter, extremely, extremely strong aspect in the ascendant, and Rahu, who is showing what he is driven to achieve in the heart of the lion. He is driven to achieve royal power. All life he was aiming at royal power. Whether he would achieve it or not is another story, but this is what Rahu is showing, the drive that people have. And then what is happening now? Let's look at the very, very obvious, known to everyone, transits. Now what is taking place? Saturn is the one who, since January 2020, entered Capricorn to change the world. He did this 28 years ago. We remember governments were falling, another regimes were coming into place all over the world. Whichever place on the globe you look at, Saturn entering Capricorn brought change. The same happened now, end of January 2020. And of course, we do have Jupiter-Saturn conjunction happening in December 21. And of course, this will further the change, but I will speak about this separately. Of course, Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is very important also when we'll be looking at elections. So Saturn entered the third house of Biden, but what is Saturn doing? He is heavily afflicting Jupiter, the exalted Jupiter, who is his main hope for success, who is his main lucky star, main, not only main, because he has other successful points in the horoscopes, in the horoscope as well. So you can see that this affliction is not a joke. It is a very serious affliction. And actually, when in November Jupiter will join Saturn, Jupiter will be weak to help him because Jupiter is against his own sign of exaltation. So Jupiter will be fallen. Then he's not born during eclipse. Eclipses took place here on this axis and on the axis of his second and eighth houses. However, this axis here where his sun is were heavily afflicted. But unlike Trump, he is not immune to the influences of eclipses. Let's look at the horoscope of Trump. Indeed, eclipses took part here on this axis. The one in November will take place here. I think the one in December was also happening on the same axis. But what is here very important, and later on I will explain you also about their progressed horoscopes. What is very important is that Donald Trump has return of the lunar nodes. And when you look historically, what happened when Donald Trump had returned? What is meaning the return? It is meaning when the lunar nodes enter this position of their exaltation, because Rahu is considered, the head of the dragon is considered to be exalted in Taurus, and Ketu, who is the tail of the dragon, is considered to be exalted in Scorpio. And when 18 years ago, Donald Trump had another return like this one, what happened? He made this big television show, the American show, what was the name? You know which show I mean, which obviously meant a lot to him. Another 18 years ago, which would be 36 years ago, when he had again return of the lunar nodes, you can check this historically, I checked it, you can see that he had another very significant event in his life, and it was the building of Trump Towers. This is always when he had these returns here. Obviously, the returns would mean some kind of important gaining or important winning position or something significant which takes place into his life. So this is what is happening. 2 times the returns brought him significant life events, and the 30th return has already started on 23rd of September, and during the time of the elections he will be around the natural position of Rahu in his horoscope. To me, this is a very strong sign of possible opportunity for a winning. Another thing I will tell you, Saturn will be transiting here with Jupiter. They will be transiting here. Indeed, you can say, yeah, and Saturn will be exactly, will be already now is making opposition to his natal Venus, which typically brings losses. Yes, it can bring losses, but in the past, if you look at his horoscope, this brought him financial losses. He had 2 or 3 bankruptcies, and after them, he managed to recover. So indeed, I expect here a kind of mixture of being able to win and then certain problems, because Saturn will be making opposition to his natal Venus, and this winning will not be simply winning, but will be combination with some sort of losses, maybe financially, maybe a part of his business. I am not sure, but losses are very possible will occur. If you look at the horoscope of Biden, Rahu and Ketu are coming here on his axis of ascendant descendant, which actually are not so much influencing the result of the election. Not even, I can tell you that Rahu with Saturn is something dramatic. If you research the influence of Rahu and Saturn when they're in conjunction, this doesn't look right. It is something which is, it's a difficult conjunction. What worried me in July when I was recording the same video is, in the end, when I made the analysis, I just noticed once again, because I saw this in the beginning, that the ascendant ruler of Biden is in the 12th house, fallen and invisible. Typically, such people with this particular placement of the ascendant ruler are secretive, unpredictable. They can work for secret services. They can do things which are beyond understanding, complication, and remain secret. This worried me. I was thinking, this secrecy here is something that I don't like. I still don't. This is something that this is part of his natal chart, obviously, but it is, well, very, very tricky aspect in his horoscope, and especially when you see the afflicted moon and the moon in the place of Mars, who is invisible. Yes, later on in his life, when he was about 25, I think, years old, Mars became visible, which gave him some opportunities, probably career-wise. I haven't checked his history that carefully, and you can't find also so much on the internet about him. So this is, I'm telling you, this is this aspect which worried me. Exactly the position of invisible Mars, invisible Mercury, typically people who work for secret services and are not necessarily kind. So then I was thinking, maybe they're preparing something which will remain unpredictable. However, this is an important thing. And then, like I'm saying, Saturn will keep making opposition and will be afflicting the moon. And the moon is ruling his 9th house, and the 9th house is the position of his Jupiter. This is not benefic at all. Not very. If you compare the two horoscopes, the horoscope of Donald Trump remains more powerful. Yes, you will have Saturn opposing Venus, which would create him losses of some kind. But then you would have Rahu and Ketu, who already have the return and who are already influencing him. Now, to tell you some very important, and you can see that Saturn is not really afflicting the moon, which is very, very important. Now to tell you something very important, and it is about, I will not share screen with the progress charts because I don't want this to become too complicated, but I will briefly explain you with two, really briefly, because so that we don't go into such big details. But the progressed horoscopes are the cycles of every year. Something interesting I noticed in the progressed horoscope of Donald Trump, like I think 4 or 5 years ago, the progress chart started the return of Rahu, and he is already part of his life is Rahu in his natural place of exaltation, in the original place where Rahu is in the horoscope of Donald Trump. So this Rahu is significant not only as a transit, but as a progression. And this Rahu in 2016 was only one of the details which gave him the winning position. What also I saw, that in the progressed horoscope, Donald Trump has invisible moon, which is difficult. 2 years ago, he entered the phase of invisible moon, which moon will be invisible up until his birthday in June 14. This is difficult for health, difficult for wife, difficult for mother. This could play difficult role in his life, and probably this can bring him difficulties related to health and also home. When I looked at the progress horoscope of Biden, I noticed similar thing. He's going through the third year of a progressed invisible dark moon, which shows that also he is in a difficult life cycle moment, and his moon will become difficult after his birthday in November, will become visible, excuse me, after his birthday in November. So basically, both of them are similarly in a difficult position, like health-wise. At home, they are going through difficulties. Maybe they're not enough liked by the people. Moon is all of this. So now, when you look at the horoscope of America, let me tell you something very interesting. This is the horoscope of the United States, July 4th, 1776. You all know this horoscope exists everywhere online. Well, you can say, oh, but Joe Biden has the same ascendant, so he belongs to America. Well, maybe he belongs to America, but what is more important is the syzygy point. What is the syzygy point? It is the point in the horoscope which is showing what is the mission we have in this world, how we're perceived by the society, by the world, and how we perceive the world. The syzygy point of Joe Biden is here in the 19 degrees of Sagittarius. What is the syzygy point? It's something very simple. You derive it just from the positions of the sun and the moon. But the syzygy, oh, excuse me, this is not the syzygy point. I was talking about the lot of fortune. The syzygy point is the last conjunction between sun and the moon, or the last full moon. So these 2 points are very, very important. So in the horoscope of Biden, his syzygy point is in the 19 degrees of Sagittarius, where is this coming on the horoscope of America? I mean, excuse me, the syzygy point of Biden is here in the 22nd degrees of Libra. Where is this coming on the horoscope of America? Well, in the 12th house of America, the 12th house of secrecy, secret services, not necessarily visibility. Let's look at the horoscope of Donald Trump. Where is his syzygy point? The 30 degrees of Scorpio, the point of the poison, the star Shaula conjoined his moon. So this is really malefic star. Shaula is the poison. Shaula is associated with, well, malefic actions indeed, but very powerful as well. And you can see that this is the syzygy point is falling into Scorpio, 30 degree. Let's see the horoscope of America. The syzygy point of Donald Trump is on the ascendant of America. This makes him in more beneficial position when it comes to winning the elections. My opinion is that if the time of birth of Biden is correct, then Donald Trump will win the elections of America. What is happening around the day of the elections is something that I found a bit, well, intense. You have here Saturn, not yet Jupiter. Jupiter will be here in the 30 degrees of Sagittarius, and Saturn will be in the third house, in the first degrees conjunct Pluto, and also where Ketu is, and this is malefic. In the very same moment, you will have Mars, who will be here in the fifth house, and will be exactly making opposition to Saturn, exact opposition, exact to a degree, Mars-Saturn opposition. This in astrology, along with Mars-Saturn square, Mars-Saturn opposition, are considered the most dangerous aspects. Dangerous, take it from the broad sense of dangerous, could be just anything, but it's very dangerous. And then you will have also Mars and Saturn squaring the natal sun of America. So you will be having here a big T-square of malefic planets, endangering the sun. What is the sun in the mundane, the political astrology? The sun is the king. The sun is the royal power. And there will be something which will endanger these elections, may endanger the election results and those who will win, the person who will win the elections. So I do see this as something which is a little bit, well, it will be dangerous. This is happening. What is interesting is that this is not a wide aspect. This is exact aspect. You see Mars will be here on the 24th degree, making opposition to Saturn in the 24th degree, and the Sun of America is in the 22nd degree of Sirius. This is a serious thing we're talking about. So in the day of the elections, there will be a danger. People may be revolting. Something will be going on. I don't really imagine how far this can go, but this is not really very good, because we will have too many eclipses happening on the solar axis of America. This is one of the important things. And then let's also not forget the Sun of America is conjoined Sirius, and the star Sirius is very spiritual, related to spiritual high hierarchy divinities. But at the moment, of course, of the creation of the birth chart, Sirius was invisible, but then the founding fathers, who seem to have had good astrologers, very, very good astrologers, have chosen to officially found America on the heliacal rise of Aldebaran, the most powerful royal star which Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, has on his midheaven. So, to me, to summarize, now let me stop sharing this. To summarize, the winning position is on the side of Donald Trump, but it will not be just winning. There will be multiple events which seem to me to be dangerous, to be, like I told you, when Saturn and Mars make opposition or a square, danger is coming. Then this is square in the natal Sun of America. Well, it looks dangerous to me. I do think that this will not be the natural elections as you can imagine them to look like. There will be either revolts, or there will be something which may endanger the presidential figure, because who is the president in the horoscope of a country? This is the sun. The sun is really who is the main significator of the king, or the president, or whoever is ruling the country. So let's see what is happening. But these are my predictions. Your comments, of course, are very welcome. Please don't side with anyone. Just remain very balanced. So comment, please. I'll be glad to read your comments. Bye-bye.